welcome to the Coach's Couch here at Inspired Coach Podcast. I am really excited to be with you today, as I am every time. Why do I keep saying that? I'm always excited to be here. I'm always excited to either be interviewing someone fabulous for you or sharing their success story, interesting things about coaching, helpful things about coaching, or feeling a little bit more intimate and close and connected here on the couch today, just with a solo episode from myself, either from something that we think is really helpful to share with you, or a coach's question or a question from anyone. And if you ever have a question that you would like me to answer here on the podcast, on the show, just simply reach out and email us and send it to us. And I would love to do that and give you a shout out as well when we do. So what are we here to talk about today? Well, we're here to talk about the mistakes that we see new and emerging coaches make once they're at the point where they have finished their training and are out in the world starting their businesses. So for starters, let's just talk about the word mistakes for a moment. We're probably really not talking about mistakes, because really anything that is a, in inverted commas, mistake is really just a lesson, right? And so we'll wrap our heads around that. It's not that you've made a mistake, you get a big red cross if you see yourself in any of this, or it may happen for you in the future. It's not like that at all. It's not punitive, not punishing. We're not like that in any way. It's lessons that can be learned from maybe not doing things as well or as positively or as deeply as you possibly could. But mistakes is a bit easier from a language perspective for people to really understand. Okay? So let's talk about then mistakes that we see new coaches make that are lessons in disguise. So I've got 5 things that I want to share with you today, and I hope that they are really helpful for you, whether you are not there yet and you can see these things that I'm going to share as something to inspire you not to do, or if you are there right now and you do recognize that you're doing any of these things, to know that it's never too late to change. It's never too late to shift something. It's never too late to take a different path and switch things up. Okay, so the first thing, a mistake, which is really just a lesson in disguise, again, is not implementing everything that a new coach that you have learned or been given to implement an action. That's the first one. I know that there will be many, if not all of you, and I put my hand up here too, that will have done a course and you have not implemented absolutely everything from that course. Maybe you haven't even finished it, or you have been given a book or bought a book or a journal or something along those lines, and you've only read so far, and even though you've been enjoying it and it's been great, you've never actually finished it. And so this can be a mistake. It is a mistake to not finish things, to not implement things, to not put things in action. And so whatever that may be for you, either right now or in the future, please make sure that whatever course you have studied, maybe it's with us as your life coach training foundation, maybe it's with someone else, make sure that you implement absolutely everything that you have been guided to in that course. Now, that does not mean you have to do it exactly the way it's been given to you. I'm not saying that. You can do it in your way. You can do it with your spin. You can do it with your flavor. Go for that. But make sure that you implement everything that you have been given, taught, and learned, and that you've paid for, that you've invested in. That is a baseline start here. Super, super important Okay, really important. So make sure that that is something that you do. It seems like such a simple thing. I know you might be thinking to yourself, Julie, I hope you've got more than this for me. And I do, but this is a genuine mistake that we see new coaches make. They don't actually implement consciously and carefully everything that they have learned and been taught. And so please know that that's a foundation. Number 2 is stopping coaching after a course is finished, not coaching enough, or not starting coaching altogether. Mistake. If you want to be a really skilled, wonderful, craftful coach that has an amazing reputation for helping people to achieve their goals and create the life of their dreams and move in the direction that they want to, which then sees the people that you work with start telling other people about you and the amazing results that they're getting from working with you, then you will commit to coaching as much as you possibly can. Note that I have not said here anything about whether the clients that you work with and the coaching that you're doing is paid or unpaid. What you get paid as a coach is not a sign of how good you are at what it is that you do. Don't think that there is a direct line between those two things. When you are starting out, you genuinely might find yourself in a position where you do an extensive amount of pro bono coaching. And this is okay. Yes, eventually you will move into a space where it is the right and best thing for you to do to begin charging. But to begin with, that might not be where you start. And for you to get the skills and experience behind you to really grow in your coaching confidence, you may need and often will need to begin pro bono coaching first. You know, a regret that I have as a coach now that has been coaching for more than 20 years is I wish that I had kept better records of how many times over the years I have done pro bono coaching. I can't even fathom the number of clients that I have worked with where no money exchanged hands. Let me just tell you that it's a lot. It is a lot. And in early days of my business, if I was struggling at the time to get a paying client in, I just coached people pro bono, because I didn't want to lose the momentum of building my coaching confidence. I wanted to make sure that I kept going so I could just build and build and build and learn and learn and learn from every single client that I saw. It allowed me to get more testimonials. It allowed me to build my confidence. It just worked. And so please make sure when you're new and emerging that you don't stop coaching, whether you are getting paid for it in those early stages or not. Do it because it's a commitment to your skills and craft and getting better. Don't make that mistake of stopping or not coaching enough or not starting altogether because you think that you don't know enough. You know enough to begin with where you're at. Okay. Number 3. This is another mistake that we see new and emerging coaches make, and that is becoming completely obsessed over your website or your socials presence to the point where it becomes everything that you are focused on or takes far too much of your focus away from that second point that I just mentioned, which is about keeping coaching. Now, you're not going to hear me say that I don't think that those things are not important. They are. Having a website, some kind of online presence, and or a socials presence. I'm going to take that back. It's not and or. If you're only going to do one, please make sure that it's a website that you own and can build a community on there. I think it is very powerful when starting out to have both, to have a social media presence and to have a website. But if you're only going to have one, don't put all your eggs in the social media basket. You do not own anything on those platforms. They are not yours. You cannot build an email community on there. If you're only going to have one, you're better off having a website. But please don't become so tangled with everything from obsessing over the 6 different fonts that you're still trying to choose to your branding colors and all those sorts of things to the point where you allow that to stall you from really keeping coaching and or starting your business. I'm not saying that you have to get something up that doesn't feel good to you or feels slapdash or just anything. Of course, you want something that feels good and representative and lovely to you, but don't obsess about it, okay? Don't spend so much time on it that everything else just stalls and you take on this, thought that you really can't begin until that's up and happening. I know many coaches that start their businesses before their website is up, and that's absolutely okay. They're out there, they're coaching, they're connected in with communities, they're going to events, they're doing things. And so, yes, get that website and socials presence happening, but don't go down any path of thinking that it has to be absolutely whiz bang or that you need to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on it or that everything needs to stop for 6 months while you build this thing. It doesn't. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Number 4 is another mistake that we see, which has got a hidden lesson always, new and emerging coaches make. And that is that if they are not fully clear on their niche and particular ideal client, that they see that as a reason to stall their coaching, stop coaching, or not starting coaching. Because for whatever reason, maybe this is you, don't feel fully set or settled with your niche yet. This is not a reason to stop or stall or not start. Absolutely not. In our course, we emphasize and say that yes, having a niche, a targeted area of coaching and a specific ideal client that you want to work with is important to help you stand out. This does not mean, however, and we have never said that you must know those things from the absolute get-go to start your coaching business and be out there coaching. Not at all. For some people, their niche can come to them through worksheets and exploration and coaching and all of that sort of stuff, like asking questions and finding support and assistance with that. For other people, the only way that they can really find and know what their best niche is for them is by actually getting out there and coaching a wide variety of people that can see them work out to themselves, oh, I don't like that, or that I'm warm about, that I feel really hot for. I don't really like working with those people. I now realize that now. I'm not really sure about those particular goal areas. They don't really light me up, but I'm beginning to work out that I do like these areas. I do like working with clients with these sorts of goals. And that's now what I'm going to continue to explore for myself and move with. And so, not fully knowing or even being clear and having clarity on what your niche and ideal client is when you are a new and emerging coach is not a reason to stop what you're doing. It's not a reason to not get out there and coach. It's probably a reason to not go too far deep into your website until you get out there and you coach a wider variety of people, whether paid or unpaid, to really find what's right for you. But don't let that be a reason to stop. Or, heavens forbid, just not start altogether and have that be the thing that has you stuck, right? Because that's a sign that likely your way of learning and finding this out for yourself is very experiential, and you need to get out there and coach people. There's a bit of a theme here, isn't there? Coaching. What's the antidote to many of these, in inverted commas, mistakes? Coaching and more coaching and more coaching. Okay? Final point that I want to make, a mistake that we see new coaches make, and that is isolating themselves and not being in community. Okay, whether you realize this now or not, because it's in your future, or you are right here, right now, as a new and emerging coach, you don't have to do this alone. You should not, in fact, do this alone. If you are a coach, that likely means for many of you, not all, but many of you, that means that you are a solopreneur. You are running a solo business. Maybe in the future you might have a virtual assistant to help you, or an online business manager, or you may have a team tech person or something along those lines. But for most of you, you will do this work as a solo business owner for a very long time, maybe even all the time that you do it. This does not, however, mean that you should be isolated or alone. In fact, it is even more important that you consciously work towards those things not being the case for you. And instead, finding your community, finding groups of people that you can connect with, that understand you and this path that you have chosen and are exploring for yourself as a coach and a business owner and a service online business owner, so you can connect and communicate and care for each other and talk to each other and be there for the highs, the lows, and everything in between. This will help you to feel seen. It will help you to feel more supported. It will help you to feel like you can get through what can be some challenging and tough times, and that there are people there that will cheer with you and understand and have your back just as you can do for them. Now, this is possible for any coach, no matter where you might have studied or trained, or what courses or groups you might have done or been a part of on your journey to becoming a coach. One of the things that we know is incredibly important, special, and unique about the Beautiful You Coaching Academy is our community. Communities of trainees, and then that go on to become part of our alumni. We have a thriving, connected, caring, non-competitive global community. And that is just so important to us, because we know that it is something that helps new and emerging coaches to continue to thrive, to feel less alone, to know that there are people out there walking this path with you that you can turn to for support and connection and even guidance. And so don't isolate yourself. Don't just do a course and then all of a sudden do our course or any course and then just disappear and think that you have to carry all of this building of your business and furthering of your coaching skills on your own. You do not. Get in there, connect, be a part of community, because it will help you no end. Don't make the mistake of isolating yourself. So let's do a little bit of a recap. Here are the mistakes that we see new and emerging coaches make, and it's pretty easy to think about, well, what's the flip of that? Okay? And therefore, what's the good thing to do. Not implementing everything that you've been taught, learned, and given. Stopping coaching, not coaching enough, or not even starting coaching once you've finished a course and you're ready to get out there, from maybe thinking you're not ready to get out there even though you are. Obsessing or being too finicky and time consumed about your website or socials presence, which, while important, does not need to be perfect and should not stop you from building your business and continuing to get out there. Not being fully clear or clarity filled about your niche or ideal client and seeing that as a reason to not coach and not start or not continue to grow your business. It's not a reason not to. And finally, isolating yourself and not being a part of community. Those are the things that we see some new coaches and emerging coaches do to their detriment, to your detriment. So think about the flip to that. Get in community. Keep coaching. Find your niche by coaching. Keep coaching and keep coaching again. Okay, everyone. We said they were mistakes, but really, as you know, they're just lessons, and they're there for all of us to look at, see if we see ourselves in, and then start to coach ourselves and turn that around and move with them in a different direction. Even if you see yourself in some of these things or you have done some of these things, it does not mean that you can't change now.